I'm honored to welcome you to the inaugural Stephen W. Bosworth Memorial Lecture in Diplomacy. He had charisma, and those of us who shared some of his path in life will always remember him. In many ways, I think all of us who knew and loved Steve were inspired by him and wanted to be in some small measure like him. Now it's my pleasure to welcome our inaugural speaker, another friend of Steve's and a fellow charismatic, the 42nd President of the United States of America, the Honorable William Jefferson Clinton.
Mr. President, thank you for being with us as we honor someone you knew quite well, your ambassador to the Republic of Korea, Steve Bosworth. One of the issues that you focused on first, I was working for you at the NSC, was Russia. How do we help the Russians to lift themselves up to become a democracy? And for me, as a diplomat, I thought your major achievement was really to create a relationship of trust with Boris Yeltsin.
Russia was really important to me because it's a great country with a storied history, and they were in bad shape when I took office. And I didn't think that humiliation was a very good strategy. I thought we needed to help them build in a positive way. So the very first meeting I had with a foreign leader was in Vancouver in the spring of 1993 with Boris Yeltsin.
In the last year of your presidency, Vladimir Putin came to power, and you had to deal with him. And of course, now I think we describe him as one of the major adversaries of the United States. Did you see that? Could you see that in your early conversations with Putin?
I remember Strobe and I were talking to Yeltsin just as if it were yesterday, and I said, I'm just not sure this guy shares your vision of the future and our cooperation and our building a world where we work together. And I could tell that he was worried about it too. Putin never thought like that. He wanted to reestablish Russia's empire and dominance. Again, I thought we should all be thinking of a world when none of us could dominate on our own. And it's a sad thing, but yes, I did see it, and so did Boris Yeltsin.
I also wanted to ask you, of course, about China, because we've had a lot of continuity in our relationship with China over many decades. You worked with Jiang Zemin principally and others, and it was a stable relationship. China was not a strategic threat to the United States at that time.
We have no choice but to work with them. We're not about to go to war with them right now, but we don't want them to run over their neighbors. I know when Hillary was Secretary of State, she spent an enormous amount of time trying to, deal with that problem. So my view is with China, our work for the best, prepare for the worst scenario means that we have to do everything we can to cooperate with them in fighting climate change. There are lots of win-win solutions there that may reduce tensions everywhere.
You dealt a lot with the North Korea problem. You had some success early on. What are the key elements for us right now to try to do something about diminishing and curtailing and containing North Korea's nuclear weapons program?
With North Korea, you have to know what you won't do, and you have to do everything else. You just have to keep trying, because their psychological problem is that no one would ever think about them if they didn't cause trouble.
How will the pandemic change our perspective, your perspective, on global health issues and U.S. foreign policy?
The schools of public health are going to have to, we need them not only to build a better public health system in America, which we clearly don't have now, and to do more work around the world. We need to integrate that with what we're doing. Next to climate change, it's probably our most important non-traditional security problem. I hope every one of the students here who didn't know Steve Bosworth will learn about his career. He lived a wonderful life. He did a lot of good.
Many thanks to President Bill Clinton for being with us. Thanks to everybody who participated, and good afternoon.